GMBN has gone retro. These bikes are almost 20 years apart. Let's see what's changed. Let's take a look at the difference in technology, geometry, and how they ride. This is a 1997 Proflex 957, a bike that I would have killed for when I was 16 years old. Now, to me, it looks pretty dated. The Proflex's Eastern aluminium frame. It's got this carbon fibre swing arm, which is pretty fancy for the time. It's got 26-inch wheels, 24 gears, 90mm of travel on the rear and 80mm up front. Check out this Gervin Vector suspension fork. I want to call it a cantilever design, but I'm not actually sure myself. It's so old school. You've got this no-lean coil shock that provides a suspension for this fork. It's got a carbon fibre leg on it. Very unusual, definitely something you don't see now. This bike has got V-brakes on it. Actually, 97 was about the time they started coming onto bikes. Much better than the canty brakes before, but obviously nowhere near as good as modern disc brakes. A 140mm stem and 570mm wide bars. I definitely would rather have a larger bar to stem ratio than this. You've got this no-lean piggyback shock on the rear, coil sprung, and you've just got rebound damping on there. This bike was top of the range in the day. I don't have the price, unfortunately, but I think it probably would have been about £3,000 in 1997, which was a lot of money. The Proflex was considered a cross-country bike in its day, so let's compare that to its modern-day equivalent. Here we've got a Canyon Lux. It's got 29-inch wheels. It's very common, we'll see that for cross-country bikes now. And it's carbon fibre frame. In fact, there's carbon fibre all over this bike. Bars, seat post, even the fork legs. It's got an 80mm stem and 730mm wide bars. We've got air sprung suspension with a remote lockout, 100mm front and rear. And it's also got 10 gears. Okay, so the retro bike first. Let's take a trip back to 1997.
Like this.
So on the climb, the bike actually feels pretty good. It's definitely suited more to climbing than going down, I think. The handlebar position definitely makes a big difference. That massive great stem and narrow bars actually kind of make it feel a little bit like a road bike. The gears are actually surprisingly crisp as well. It's been a long time since I've used grip shift. I'm actually really impressed at how smooth and how quick the shifts are. Going up some pretty mellow terrain, suspension feels fine as well. I can actually quite enjoy riding this bike for big epic cross-country rides. Geometry wise, actually it's quite funny to see that the top tube lengths on both bikes are almost identical, about 585mm. One big difference is in wheelbase. The Canyon is 8 centimeters longer than the Proflex. Some of that will have to do with the bigger wheels, obviously. And the Canyon is actually much slacker head angle. It's got a 70-degree head angle compared to a 74 on the Proflex. The Canyon weighs 23 pounds. The Proflex weighs 29 pounds. Well, that was exciting, or in fact, I think more terrifying, to be honest. If you try and ignore the fact that there's hardly any grip on this bike, then the suspension is sort of okay for cross country, but as soon as you start going downhill, it feels like I'm half a second away from getting spat over the handlebars at all times. The fork feels like the axle's almost trying to come underneath you, and I guess that massive stem doesn't help, but it's actually pretty wild when it starts going downhill. The V-brakes are pretty good. It's when they start getting wet that they really don't work, and obviously having that rim brake, if you start buckling your wheels, then it starts messing up your brakes as well. So, am I glad I rode it? Yeah, it's great. I always dreamt of a bike like this when I was 16 and never actually had one. But would I go on an auction site and try and find a 90s bargain? No. I'll stick to my modern bike. It's unbelievable how modern this bike actually feels. It's so light, it's so agile, does everything better. The brakes are better. You've got this lockout for the fork and the shock. It's just so much more advanced and so much more confidence inspiring, as well as actually being more fun. For more videos like this, you can click just up there and that'll take you through to the full pro bike check for that 1997 Proflex 957. If you click just down there, that'll take you through to a video where we compare a modern downhill bike with a 20-year-old downhill bike. Click just in the middle, you'll subscribe to GMBN, it's totally free, and you'll get a cool new video every day of the week. And in the comment section down below, I want to know the bike that you dreamt of as a kid and you rode later on and realised it was rubbish. See you later.